think about how many people you know, David, that are toting buyers around. They have 32 fence sitters waiting for the next one to come on the market. And they work with buyers. And they do. And the only sellers they get is where they're talking to a buyer and they have to sell to buy. And that's the only time they ever do it. And it's probably in your audience, the largest percentage of listeners right now fall into that camp.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The agents that you know that regularly list property, that you drive around, you see their signs everywhere. Out of 1,000 realtors, how many is it? 18? It's not that big a percentage.
Small percentage, yeah, no doubt.
Right. But what they've done is they've decided, I'm just going to list property and I'm going to find other people to handle the buyers as a result of that.
Hey, what's up, Masters? Welcome to Path to Mastery podcast, and we are live with Mr. Ren Jones. Has become my monthly, once a month, my co-host. What is up, sir? How are you this month?
Hey, life's amazing. Real estate's amazing. Doesn't get any better.
Real estate's changing, bro. It's changing. Like it's quite different. Today we did an episode 3 weeks ago. It's changed a lot in 3 weeks.
I know. And if you've been around, if you've been doing it a while, you're excited. If you haven't been doing it a while, you're like, uh-oh.
What?
Well, if you're like not sure about change, if you're newer to real estate, you're going to say, uh-oh. That would be normal. If you've been doing this a while, you're going to go, ooh, this is good. I remember this.
Yeah.
So if you've been doing it a while, you know that the conditions have improved. If you haven't been doing it a while, you could get caught up in the news media and think that it applies to real estate as a career, which it does not.
Well, that's what we're going to be talking about. But when you say the conditions have improved, clearly the conditions haven't improved, have they?
Well, if you are a real estate agent for a living, yes, they have improved dramatically.
Okay. Can you explain that?
Okay. Provided that you're looking for buyers and sellers all day long and you're looking for business all day long. So I'm a for sale by owner. The market's changed. Oh, mortgage rates are a little higher. Oh, this and that. I might need a real estate agent to help me. It's a good thing, right? For us. Or the market's wonderful. Interest rates are at 2 3/4, and I know what I'm doing and I don't need your help. Not so good for realtors. There's nothing to, there are 30 offers on every property. I'm a real estate agent. Market slows down a little bit. Now there are only 7 offers on every property. Good thing? I think so. Yeah. I think it's a good thing. You might actually get your deal through.
I know you're my co-host, but you're losing me on this one, man. I'm struggling to understand how it's a good thing.
What? That there are only 7 offers on the property?
You go from 30.
You have people that all they do is work with buyer leads, and so they're struggling. And when you're 1 out of 30 and you want to pay some bills, that's a little tough. But if you're one out,
numbers are better chances.
There's a much better chance of putting a deal together. There's a much better chance of putting a deal together if the demand softens up a little bit. When there is nothing to buy and nothing to rent, supply has been a problem. Would you agree that supply is a problem? Has been a problem.
Yeah,
builders have underbuilt 5.8 million homes since 2007. Underbuilt. There is a 1.9 month supply of homes. 6 is in a normal market. 1.9 is there's nothing to buy. It's hard if you're a real estate agent to put a deal together when there's nothing to put a deal together with.
Yeah.
Now you have to have a buyer ready to go or a seller ready. I mean, they need our help more. When there are a few challenges in the market, they need the help of a professional.
Yeah.
When a cow pie is selling to the highest bidder, they don't need our help. And so we don't get paid.
When what's selling to the highest bidder?
A cow pie.
A cow pie. Nice.
Anything. In other words, everything is selling. Everything is selling.
Everything is still selling.
Yeah, the roof could have caved in and it sells.
Well, everything always sells, Ren. I mean, even no matter what the market, everything
For the price. Yeah, for the price. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying it's overheated. When it's overheated, that makes it harder for realtors. When it softens, it makes news and they can create some alarm and sell some soap and advertising. But as a real estate agent, we have to look at it. Think about it this way. Remember the first 6 weeks of COVID. There were agents that said, I don't know what's going on. And they just froze and they sat like this all day, every day, and didn't do anything. And then, but a lot of them said, there are people that are going to need my guidance and help. And those people went out and made a fortune. Some of the strongest real estate we've ever seen. That time is like this time. There is a little bit of softness, and that actually creates some relief. And people are going to go, I need a professional to help me. Be that professional. Guide them. Yeah, rates are crossing the 5 barrier, 5 to 6, but maybe they'll have to pay some points. Could be a good thing if they're planning to stay a while. Remember those?
Yeah.
Well, the rate is 4 7/8 and 5 points. Good.
When I bought my first house, it was 6.5 was the rate, and I was happy. That was a good rate.
That was a good
solid.
rate. I remember when it got down to 8 and we were so happy.
Yeah, right. I mean, so well, let's.
This is more money is made by strong real estate agents in a down market, and we're not really going to be going into a down market. They're gonna need more guidance. They're gonna need more of a professional. But all I'm saying, folks, do not get caught up in the news and think it applies to you. Is the milk cost more? Yes. Does it cost you $300 in California to fill your gas tank? Yes. But beyond that, as a realtor, as a professional, you win. With inflation, the prices go higher for the house. The commissions go higher. And when there are not 30 people fighting over it, you might win a few more times. This is our time. Don't think you're included. You're not. I'm sorry, you're not included in this recession. You're not.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, unfortunately, there's a lot of negativity happening right now. It's
a human nature.
Yeah. Well,
human nature.
It sells, right? It sells. I mean,
yes. People are drawn to, for whatever reason, I don't know why. But what if we ignore it?
So it's super hot up here in my my office studio. So I know you can talk, so I'm gonna have you talk for a couple minutes. I gotta switch the AC on. I'll be right back in the middle of the podcast because it's getting super hot up here.
102 on the David Hill Show. And with that said, this is our time, folks. Now, let's be on the listing side of the business. Remember last time we talked, I was talking about this wonderful lady. She had 5 kids, single mom. She could not work with buyers at all because there was no bandwidth with time with 5 kids and being a single mom. And so she only listed property, which so because she did that, and somebody else handled her buyers, and she made some great referral fees. She listed so much property. She had money. She could, take the kids on vacation. It was a wonderful thing. Pretend you're not allowed to work with a buyer. What would you do? Would you make more? Would you make less? Would you have more time? Would you have less time? It's a great question to look at. Don't you agree? What would you have to do?
Well, I think for me, it's listings, man. I think we just focus on listings, right? And if we focus on listings, then no matter what the market's doing, if you have inventory, you're in control. Everybody has to come to you. You have leverage, right?
Yeah.
Even when we were dealing with 30 offers, I'd be stressed out because I have 30 offers, but I'm still getting paid. And then unfortunately, 29 people aren't going to be paid that wrote an offer, that spent time, energy, money.
And maybe 30 because maybe you double-sided it.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, we unfortunately we didn't do a ton of double size last year, but we got a couple here and there. Not
Yeah,
bad.
there are a few. There are a few. So that at the end of the day, and I know you subscribe to this, um, the being on the listing side, and there are a lot of people listening right now that go, and I don't care if it's a strong seller's market, strong buyer's market, they will tell you, oh, this is not the time to try to work with sellers. You can't do it. There are none to be had.
No, but who's saying that, Ren? That doesn't even make sense.
Every time the pendulum is either way over here or way over there, either a strong seller's market, strong buyer's market, people will tell you, oh, it's very hard to get listings. It's very hard to get a listing and sell it. Well, the market's so slow, I'm just going to work with buyers. Oh, the market's so overheated, I'm just going to work with buyers. But people do think that way. Think about how many people David, that are toting buyers around. They have 32 fence sitters waiting for the next one to come on the market. And they work with buyers. And they do. And the only sellers they get is where they're talking to a buyer and they have to sell to buy. And that's the only time they ever do it. And it's probably in your audience, the largest percentage of listeners right now fall into that camp.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The agents that that regularly list property, that you drive around, you see their signs everywhere. Out of 1,000 realtors, how many is it? 18? It's not that big a percentage.
Small percentage, yeah, no doubt.
Right. But what they've done is they've decided, I'm just going to list property and I'm going to find other people to handle the buyers as a result of that. And they make that decision. They do a line in the sand. Monday morning at 8 a.m., they look for listings all week long. By Friday, they hope to have one or two. And they do it for the rest of their life. And it's a happy life. I mean, I did it for 16 years. Take a couple listings every week, 2 or 3 listings every week for a decade and a half. Works well. And you've done the same thing.
Yeah, always.
Now,
always.
You have a system to do that. And would you agree it's a system? Just like McDonald's is a system and Starbucks is a system. There's a system for this, a repeatable, duplicatable process.
Well, I shared my story, right? When I first got my real estate license, my first day in the office, the team leader said, I want you to show up on a Sunday. I want you to bring index cards, all the real estate sections from all the local newspapers, scissors, highlighter.
Folks, don't do this. Do not do this.
No, I showed up and he showed us the real estate sections. We cut out all the ads. We taped them to the top left corner of the index card. And that was the system we used back then. And it worked. I mean, this is almost 20 years ago now. I'll be 20 years.
That's all that's automated.
Yeah. Now what happens is every day I get to log into my system and there I go. I got all the leads ready to go.
But if somebody would not allow you to work with a buyer and you had to refer it, you can refer it and make 25, 50, 75%, whatever. You can refer it, but you can't work it yourself so you don't break your stride. What would happen? How much would you make? Could you on Monday morning unleashed at 8 a.m. and you had to stop at Friday at 4 p.m.? Could you find 1 or 2 listings every week?
Absolutely. Yeah. You can.
Of course you could.
Of course.
You could go. I mean, there's so many places to find. You just knock on the door of every FSBO, call every FSBO, call every expired, call around go to every yard sale. 1 out of 8 yard sales are selling. I mean, just there are plenty of places to find sellers, but that's all you're allowed to do. And you have to take 4 to 6 weeks vacation a year. And then what's fun is how many houses do you sell when you're not in town? That's a fun one to track. Well, last year I sold 9 homes while I was on vacation. Well, good for you. That's a fun number to track.
I love when you're at the beach and transactions are happening. That wasn't me though. Before 2009, I worked both sides of the business. I was working with buyers, and it was tough. We were still closing 75 transactions, and it was a lot of work. Working 80 hours a week, man. If
you're working both sides. Yeah. After 3 years, I said I'm not doing it, and then I stopped working with buyers. I think I can count on one hand how many Saturdays I worked in 16 years, the remaining 13 years. I rarely worked a Saturday.
So
Occasionally, I'd work a Sunday afternoon and go on a listing appointment with somebody that was out of town all week. But
yeah,
very rarely, very rarely.
well, I mean, I listened to our last couple episodes, and we obviously we're both very bullish on the listing side of business. I think anybody that listens to us knows that. So, and
I'm just trying to save souls. I'm just trying, David. We're just trying to save souls here. Like, hello, get woke here. Come on, become a listing agent. Just try it. Just try.
Well, now's the perfect time, right? Now's the perfect time to do that. I mean,
it is. They need our help, and you'll find them to be a little more receptive and want some guidance because they're trying to figure this thing out.
Well, our friend Armando's going crazy with his mute button on Clubhouse. So did you want to add something, Armando, or did you have a question? Normally I open it up later, but I see you want to get in.
Howdy, yeah, it's Armando, real estate agent, Houston, Texas. What up, Ren, David, Teodora? Yeah, no, I was just liking your system, man. Just hop back in this morning to pound the phones, FSBOs, expireds, and I came across an expired today that wasn't supposed to be listed. It was a FSBO, pretty much that just got out of probate, and I guess they were doing a deal. Well, the buyer's agent put it up on the market for some odd reason, I guess to get the credit. Well, I found it expired, called the family, said they told me the deal, and the executor is actually a broker trying to, save the money on the commission. And so, and he got offers and, of course, all closing costs paid, and say, look, why don't let's see what I can do with it? I mean, how nice would it be to get more exposure on this property and add more equity to your mother's legacy and get the family more money? And he, I just shut up and let him thinking about it, and just say, okay, well, let's meet, and we're just gonna have a meeting, one of those. I'm not signing anything. We'll meet, see what makes sense. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm good with that. And meeting with them in about an hour and a half. So,
well, congratulations, Armando. That is a great story.
Armando's a beast.
I know. And would you agree that if we and it's a routine, we get in a routine of having about 20 conversations with people every day, 20, 25 conversations every day. And some of those lead to wonderful stories. They like this one and others where that leads into, some of them lead into a transaction, which leads into another transaction, which leads into another transaction, and on and on. But just getting in the routine of every morning looking for business, and then in the afternoon signing contracts, and then going home in the evening and enjoying yourself. Congratulations. What a great story. On the listing side, the nice thing is you can work Monday through Friday in the mornings and the afternoons and go home in the evening. I always would be appalled. Every once in a while, I would go in to the office once every 2 or 3 years for some odd reason. And it would be like 8:00 at night on a Thursday or something. And that place would be humming with agents working on contracts and doing, and I go, what are all you people doing here? Go home. But when you're on the buy side, you work long hours. You basically work second shift. You really do. It's bizarre. It's just bizarre. With on the listing side, you can have a normal morning, not 9 to 5. It's more like 8 to 6, 5 days a week. Have more of a normal life, have a little bit of control, enjoy the weekends, enjoy several weeks vacation. It's very systematic.
It is systematic. And I'm also going to, hey, all you guys on Clubhouse, we appreciate you being here. And if you take the little square box down there with the arrow and you use that and you invite some other people, it'll help us grow the room. There's no reason that we shouldn't have hundreds of people in this room. If we put up a post about, something, I'm not even going to get into it, but the negativity is what sells. And that's actually what we were talking about before we started recording, right? Which is why I actually changed the title of the episode to Fix Your Real Estate Mindset.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Like what should we be doing? Like you were talking about the media and all.
I think we have to look at because the media will suck you in. It's like crabs in a bucket. You we need to look, start our day surrounded by people that are positive and energy that's positive. Read something inspirational first thing. Armando, are you still there? Is he still there?
I'm here. What's up?
So how many you list a lot of property? What are you doing then? What's the business?
Yeah, that's all I do.
What market are you in?
Houston, Texas.
Nice market.
And
11
surrounding.
million people. Where is what's a typical month for you? How many listings do you take?
Oh man. Shoot. I was pretty on fire January, February, March, April. Well, before April, I was getting like 2 or 3 a month. And then January, February was like super hot. I probably got like going into New Year, probably like 5 or 6.
Nice. What's an average commission there?
See, average price points like 8 to 12.
8 to 12,000 commission, so $10,000 commission.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so you're making like 450,000 a year, something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, it's what.
Okay. So, and you have control over your schedule. You only list property.
Correct.
What are you doing with the buyers?
Referring them to my team members. That
okay, good. So you get a nice big check from that. So maybe you're making 550, 600,000 a year. So one of the things we used to have, I used to call it the Vulcan 7 Challenge, which was every month fly or drive or fly to a market outside of yours and spend a half a day or so with somebody that's doing what you want to do. Like in this case, Armando. So you would fly to Houston, get there in the afternoon, have dinner with him if he was available, meet him at his office first thing, follow him till noon, and write down, record everything with your cell phone, record everything he's doing, listen to it, and take notes, go to lunch, and then head back home. Can somebody shadow you, Armando?
Sure, yeah. I've had people shadow me opens and other places, yeah.
Okay, good. So what would happen is if you did that every month, sure, you're going to spend $600-700 to fly there, do that, come back. Once a month, you do that. At the end of a year, you've done it 12 times. You've got it in your mind exactly what you need to do. Your belief system, which is part of this mindset thing we're talking about today. Your belief is not only can I do it, I know what to do exactly. I've watched 12 different people do different variations of pretty much the same thing. They're all making at least $500,000 in income on a very repeatable, duplicatable process. And then you become one of those 12. You have 12 friends that are wealthy and positive. You can role play with them. You can meet them on a mastermind. You can socialize with them. They become your friends. And a reason I say that is I enjoyed doing that. I would shadow all these people. People would come and shadow me. They would come and go, I come to town, shadow you. And they would come and we would go to lunch and they would watch from like 7:30 in the morning till lunch. And they would role play at 7:30, making contacts through the day, returning calls, going to lunch. And they'd be like, wow. And they'd watch it just rack up in a very repeatable process. And then they would copy it. We can, 100% of you listening to this can do this. And unless they're in your market and competing with you directly, 99.999% of the people like Armando will say, yes, come on. Come on. Why would somebody like Armando say yes? Think about this. Why would somebody like Armando want somebody to shadow him?
Referrals.
Because but when I teach, I learn more. Or when
he learns more, and it's the show-off factor. All the little things he may have gotten complacent on, he will not be complacent on. Somebody rolls into town, and everything is going to run perfectly till lunch.
You're on your A game when
he's on his A game.
It's a good point. That's so true.
It's a huge point. Yeah. So both parties win big.
Yeah, you don't give up when people are watching you and you're lead generating. You're going to get the friggin' appointment.
And the person that flies in or drives in to watch him is the kind of person Armando would want as a friend. That driven soul, that person that's like not willing to settle for an $89,000 salary working with buyers 82 hours a week.
Hey, you know what? You just gave
out.
me an idea, though. There's something I had never thought of before. You just listening to you. So we have a membership, and we meet every morning. You just essentially described like our membership, but without having to actually go get on a plane. Like we have agents all over the country that get together in the morning, and we share top strategies. And
what's the price?
Nothing. It's free. It's pretty
free.
Not free. It's pretty much free. It's $99 a month, which is free.
Right, folks.
But listen.
All right. Now, what they need to go where?
Well, they can join the community.
Make it easier. Tell them where. They can't just wander around trying to find out.
DavidHill.club. That's how easy it is.
DavidHill.club. Okay.
Yeah. DavidHill.
All right, folks.
All right, but
you can watch the news in the morning and really, or you can go to this.
Yeah,
have some great, exciting friends that have big thoughts and strategies. What you guys are sharing strategies, aren't you?
Dude, every morning we meet twice a day.
Strategies. So
it's
after a month, you've got 87 new strategies.
Yeah, we meet twice a day. We have a membership with over 60 lessons. We have Vulcan 7 offers for them, opportunities to get a month free. I mean, it's just yeah, it's awesome. So
can't beat that. There we go. Well, we have solved all of the world's problems.
All right, listen to this though. Here's something I heard this morning, and I almost went nuts, but I didn't. I kept myself composed. I was listening in on a conversation on Clubhouse, which I feel like I spend too much time on Clubhouse, man. To be honest with you, I'm starting to rethink Clubhouse. But anyway, Clubhouse was great during the COVID. Yeah, Clubhouse is great, period. But anyway, I have a love-hate thing with Clubhouse. But I was there listening this morning, and somebody said the real estate market is coming to a halt. And I almost unmiked, like, there's no friggin' halt. What do you think of that? Like, what does that mean? The real estate market's coming to a halt. There's always
the same people that said that when COVID began, and they were absolutely as wrong as could be. And why do they say that? Because they will get attention. It's an attention grabber. Oh, the end is near. And everybody's going like, is it really? Oh my gosh, let's go cry in our soup. I mean, just what do you do? What do you do? They said that at the beginning of COVID. I mean, Chicken Little was everywhere.
COVID was probably the first time it did really stop things from happening for a little while. A couple months, there wasn't much going on. I mean, that's the first time I've ever experienced that in 20 years.
And then what happened? Remember?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, more real estate was sold in the COVID years than in non-COVID years.
No, but I'm saying that first.
Well, when the Twin Towers got hit too, for about 3 weeks, everything stopped, and then immediately behind it, it went boom, which is going to happen again.
Well, we had to figure out how to sell real estate without meeting with people, right? With COVID. That was that.
Right.
And honestly, a lot of those things.
I know you had to wear your hazmat suit.
Yeah. Well, virtual Zoom.
I know.
We met sellers on a Zoom meeting, had them sign electronically, had the photographer go over with his hazmat suit and had the thing sold without even ever going in the house.
I know. All the tanning booths turned into alcohol spray booths,
Yeah. So, hey, but that's what we do. We adapt, right? We adapt to what's happening.
I know, exactly. So that's the thing. Change will always take place. This move actually helps you if you are in the real estate profession. Sellers, they'll be able to buy a little bit less house for a little bit larger payment. So, but
let me ask you this question.
That, what do you do?
Here's
the good news. So here's the thing, folks. Should someone buy a bigger house now, or should they wait? Think about the question. Should you sell and then buy a bigger house, or should you wait? Think about that. What do we know in an inflationary period? What do we know in an inflationary period?
What do we know? Prices are going up, but they're going to come down.
Prices are right. So the mortgage rate's higher, the payment's higher, but here's the thing. That $400,000
actually they may not come down.
Quickly become a $550,000. Sure, your payment's a little bit bigger, but that house during inflationary periods, you want to have as much money in bricks and mortar as possible. It's something to keep in mind when you're talking to people buying and selling. You want to, and is there leverage? You put $20,000 down on a $500,000 house. Look at the leverage. 20,000 buys 500, controls 500,000 in an inflationary period. Even though the payment's a little bigger, which one wins out? The inflation wins out and the value of the house wins out. So in a funny way, buying a house now is better than a few years ago because of inflation.
Well,
You may not be able to control and touch that money until you sell it, but your equity position, your equity position is going to rise and rise and rise and rise and rise much faster than during periods of very low inflation. So you need to look through the lens is exactly the opposite of what the news would be telling you. If you buy a house now, you are smart.
So how important is mindset now for realtors going in? Because having these conversations you're talking about.
Well, it's mindset and the tools to explain something like that too. Well, it's too easy to get caught up in the negativity because it abounds. But it's always around. Negativity is very attractive for humans. So they need to be in your program. $99.
Oh, they can. Yeah. My coaching is 500. It's 500 every 30 minutes. If people want to get into one-on-one, well, probably about 10%.
We've been on here about 30 minutes. Pay up, everybody.
There you go. That's it. That's it. You can go to my site, path2mastery.club. All my pricing is there and everything.
And the number 2?
Path2mastery.club.
Or TO or both.
That's it. No, it's Path to Mastery. It's the same as my podcast. My podcast is path2mastery.net. My one-on-one coaching is path2mastery.club. Our membership is davidhill.club. So thanks for all the good promotion. I want to ask you, I do want to ask, and listen, we got 60 something people in the club now, and people are sending us referrals every week. So it's amazing. It's an amazing community. But like when it comes to this mindset, here's the reality. I work with a lot of salespeople, and a lot of times we're our own worst enemy because we're showing up and we do have this doubt going on, this uncertainty, and then we're trying to help people make decisions, but we have our own uncertainty, our own doubt, and we're not realizing that subconsciously we can't help somebody make a decision if we're not clear, if we're not decisive, if we're not certain, right?
So we have to learn the market. You have to understand market stats. You need to be able to explain in a simple way how inflation helps someone who owns a property. You need to be able to explain that. And we have to remember, folks, it's 3 things. People want to be led. People want to be led. People want to be led. Are you a leader? Are you leading them, or do they detect your self-doubt?
Yeah, well, they need it now. People need certainty. Like they need to show up and say, hey, here's what we need to do.
Right. Exactly. They want somebody who knows.
Turtles.
You know that expression. I don't want somebody who thinks. I want somebody who knows. So what do you know? How much have you studied this? Looking back at other inflationary periods, you'd be crazy not to put as much money as possible into real estate in a leveraged way. You would be crazy not to. You're going to miss out, and you're going to go, I should have bought back in 2022 because that house is now gone. That $500,000 house is $1.2 million now.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't have made anywhere near that in payments.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
I know you are.
We have learned those lessons in the past. And as real estate people, we need to be able to explain that in a succinct way.
Hey, I want to open it up to if anybody on Clubhouse has a question.
Or you want to shadow Armando. Do they know how to reach him, by the way?
Hold on. Does anybody in Clubhouse have a question? Give me a mic flash if you want to ask a question to Ren or me. Or if you want, just raise your hand. We'll bring you up. If you want to shadow Armando, you can do that. It costs you probably $1,500 and you're stuck with Armando for a day. Or you just join our club. And Armando's in the club anyway, so maybe we'll have to give him a referral or something.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, yeah, go shadow Armando. Enjoy Houston. It's 122 there.
It doesn't look like we have any questions on the clubhouse. So that said, man, I just appreciate you as always. I enjoy doing this with you. Any final thoughts you want to give our listeners before
We're so lucky to be in this industry. Can you imagine being in anything else? Where else can you make $4, $5, $6, $7, $800,000? Where else can you take 2 or 3 or 4 listings a month? Where and which gives you that kind of income? Where else can you do that? You can't. You know.
Yeah.
And as independent contractors, we can put all this stuff on our Schedule C. And I mean, being an independent contractor is a big deal. I mean, tax
Well,
wise.
let me ask you this, what are you going to say? I'm trying to, so I'm thinking about people listening, and I'm thinking about the 80-20 principle where, 20% does 80%, right? That's the reality. So if, as an industry, you said 800,000, 500, all these, the reality is probably only 5% of real estate agents make that kind of money.
I understand that.
And then there's the 80%.
And we know why.
Yeah. So, but what are you going to say to the 80% that are, maybe they're trying to make their first $100,000?
Step out on the water. What do you have to lose? I mean, we know why. They're like, well, Mary wants to buy a house. I'm going to take her around and I'll do that. And take a risk. Pretend you're not allowed to work with buyers. I mean, just take a risk. And it is a risk but here's the thing. If you're working with Mary because she may want to buy a house, good luck with that in this market.
Yeah.
You're almost much safer to work on the listing side. I don't know what to say because we've watched this forever. And Pareto's principle can be 80-20. It can be 90-10. Depends. Sure. In our business, it's more like 90-10. 10% of the agents are making most of the income.
Absolutely.
90% are, I don't know what they're doing.
Well, I think though, the key here is if we can figure out how to switch our mindset to a mindset from doom and gloom. And I'll be honest, one of the things you got to stop doing is sitting in a lot of these people spend their whole day on Clubhouse in doom and gloom rooms and then wonder why things aren't working for them. It's crazy.
Yeah. Right? What's that one called? The hand ringers club room?
Oh, I don't know.
It's bound to be a hand ringers. Everybody's like, oh, the world's going to end.
But you got to figure out how to switch it from, okay, this is a place of this is an opportunity, right? Like today's June 15th. I asked everybody, like, what is today? June, what is today, Brad? Well, you may not know.
Is that a holiday? I don't know.
Well, it's friggin' tax day. It's the day the second.
Oh, estimated.
Yeah, right.
Estimated.
Yeah. So we're paying estimated taxes today. Well, we made twice as much money last year as we did. So plus we were short on the first payment because it was part of, right? So that's, hey, you know what? It's an opportunity. Right? That's an opportunity. The good news is we made more money and we get to pay more and we have it. So it sucks.
Taxes is what you pay to the rent you pay to live in this country. And that's just what it is.
Yeah. Well, you got to pay taxes.
It's not a bad deal. My Canadian friends that sell real estate, they go there because they're really penalized. The more they sell, the more they take. The curve ain't so pretty. The tax.
You got to get a good accountant. You have a good accountant. That's another conversation. Though.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I guess that's it, bro. We don't have any questions on the Clubhouse.
Good.
And appreciate you, man. Yeah, I think it was a great conversation.
All right. Well, if we inspire 6 or 8 people to get in on the listing side or even move in that direction or go down and shadow Armando, but even more important, probably get involved with your morning group. If they get involved with that, that's a first step because just getting involved with it will pull them into a whole new world.
Amen.
I mean, it's a good place to start. You're at the top of the ski slope. Just let somebody push you in and ride it down. Enjoy.
It reminds me of Landmark Education. Now, are you familiar with Landmark Education?
Oh yeah, all that stuff.
Are you?
Yeah, you're cool. Right. I did not do Landmark. I did everything but very similar one. Yeah. I mean, for like 12 years. I've done more work on my head than in group sessions.
But that was, you reminded me when you said that, because that's one of their things is it starts when you sign up.
Yeah.
As soon as you take the action, that's when it starts.
Right. And then things unfold. You take them, you're basically raising your hand. It's a way of raising your hand. by getting involved in your morning program, $99 a month, is a way to raise your hand. And all of a sudden now you hear a whole bunch of new voices besides Wolf Blitzer in your ear, and it'll take you in a much better place.
Yeah.
It'll move you in a much better place.
Well, you know what? Some people will sign up, and it's cool. But I also
game. Well, yeah, you'll probably get 16 or 18 people to join as well. Those 16 or 18 people will make money that they wouldn't have made. The doors will open that they wouldn't. They'll meet people that are positive, and they'll learn a lot of strategies to list property.
Yeah,
and and they'll have commission checks the easy way.
Well, I don't know.
It is so much easier when you think about it. Commissions on the listing side are so much easier than the money you earn on the buy side.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Well, I appreciate you again. It was awesome. It was fun.
Yeah.
For listening to this. And
I know I get excited. I just want to go list property.
And Ren is the owner of Vulcan 7. And if you want information on Vulcan 7, you can just check out my link, which is path-to-mastery. No, it's not that. It's vulcan7.com/path to. I get a lot of links, bro.
Path to mastery. Yeah. vulcan7.com/path to mastery.
And also, if you're in our clubhouse room, there's a digital card up at the top. And if you're interested in the membership, it's the second right on the top, second tab on the top right. And Vulcan 7 is the 6th tab on the left down. You click on that, you can get your information on Vulcan 7. You can even probably, if you're lucky, have a conversation with Ren, because Ren's just like that. He's a good dude.
Woohoo.
I appreciate you, Ren. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you, David. All righty. Have a good month.